This is where you realize number one, you're either a winner or a loser. Look, I 50x my income when I changed my life. I'm doing better than everyone else I know. No, I'm not even joking.
What is up, party people? How's everybody doing tonight? Hi, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Oh my god, Bobby's so tired already. We just got started and he's already passed out. How's everybody doing? Happy Easter to those of you that celebrate. What's up, what's up? Oh, good morning, buddy. Hi, would you like a snack? Let me know in the comments how your day is going. Here you go, buddy. And we're going to get into it. Monica says, I'm ready to become rich. That's the energy we need tonight, because who wants to be poor when you could be wealthy? Am I right? Baba. Excuse me. That's so rude. Okay. Today we're going to be reacting to a post that I was tagged in on Reddit. So shout out to the user that tagged me. And if you want me to react to something, just tell me to do it publicly and I'll do it. Marat says, I've had a headache all day, but I'm ready to get rich. I'm sorry to hear that. I've been having some pretty bad headaches myself lately with the weather changing. I'm very sensitive to the air pressure. I get really bad toothaches because my sinus cavity is so small, it presses on my teeth. So I feel your pain. Stay hydrated. That's my non-medical advice for you. Rodney says, I feel like this is going to be a special stream. Maybe. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. Let's keep our expectations on the floor, folks. We're going to be listening to a podcast, and I am pretty certain that the audio is horrible. So prepare your ears. Perhaps if you're wearing headphones, don't, because you might regret that decision. Hello, hello, Erin, Suzanne, Julia. What is up, rich besties? You know, living my best rich life. And on that note, let me share with you what I'm drinking this evening, because we have name brand pop in this house. We're no longer drinking President's Choice. We've gotten so wealthy, we can afford real Pepsi in this economy. I didn't actually pay for this. Pablo was in charge of buying the drinks this week, so I get the real stuff. I've never had this before. It's zero sugar cherry flavored Pepsi. I'm intrigued. Okay, that can was a little bit hard to open. Oh my god, I'm making a mess. Pretty good. Pretty good. Kind of tastes like medicine. Not gonna lie. Okay, maybe it's not that good, but we'll drink it anyway because we don't waste in this house. Okay, oh my god, I just got Pepsi all over my desk. 0 out of 10, do not recommend. I'm going to use my shirt to clean it up. Okay, anyway, now that we've wasted 5 minutes of our lives that we're never going to get back, let's get into this content. So this is a business coach who I have featured, I believe, in like reaction videos here and there. And we might have looked at her podcast in a live stream once before. I don't really remember. She is part of the XO Gingy downline, if you are familiar with the coaching lore. And I presume this is going to be one giant word salad. I haven't listened yet, but just knowing what I know of this person, that is what is to be expected. I don't need a corgi right now, Pablo, but if you are watching and you could bring me a Kleenex to mop up the Pepsi I spilled all over my desk, I would appreciate it. I did, in fact, manifest the Pepsi. That is correct. Okay, Suzanne says, my daughter wanted cherry Coke the other day. We've never seen it here in Australia before. I bought her a can, and she spat it everywhere and said the same comment, it tastes like medicine, and that's what Pablo said too. I was hoping it would taste kind of like Dr. Pepper, because what we really wanted was like the no sugar Dr. Pepper, but we couldn't find it. So I was like, oh, the no sugar cherry Pepsi should taste like Dr. Pepper, but it doesn't. So I'm going to stick with my President's Choice sparkling water from now on, after I obviously finish this can of medicine water. Anyway, that's enough about my pop drinking habits. Sorry to those of you that don't give a crap. Let's go ahead and see what's up. Harrison says, may this business coach bless us with more soundboard gems. If you have not been on stream in a few weeks, we have been rapidly expanding our soundboard. So I've got the pen and paper ready for anything notable that we take away. If you're watching the replay, always be sure to timestamp where you think I should grab a soundbite from. That's very helpful for me when I go back to collect those. Okay. Anyway, enough yapping. I think I already mentioned it. This woman is a coach who coaches other coaches on how to coach. She is an alleged millionaire and helps other people become millionaires. So I assume that's what we're going to be learning about today. So let's see.
If you are live with me or you're watching
Also, let me know how the sound level is.
the replay, say hello inside of the comment section. I am activated in a way that I don't think I've ever been activated in my entire life. What is happening inside of Freedom Queen, what's happening inside of my clients' lives is huge. And I want to share this transmission with you. I want to talk about something insane that has happened and invite you to something spectacular. You are going to be the first of the first people to hear about this extraordinary experience. And so we have so much to celebrate. And I would love to know inside of the comments if you feel like Q2 is going to be your biggest quarter ever. Like when I woke up on April 1st, I felt this frequency, this energy, this activation, like there's a new energy here. And I've been so loud about it. I've been so like, there's just something new. Lizzie's here. Hey, Bridget, long time no see. Ready to be activated. Samantha.
Okay, I'm never going to get off this soapbox that I've been on for the last, 3 years almost now. I will never understand how someone can claim to be, first of all, claim to be a millionaire. Second of all, claim to be like a business expert that helps you attract dream clients, and have content that sounds like you are sitting in an empty room with no furniture, filmed on your iPhone. Like, I have nothing against people creating content on a budget, but if I am building a brand where I am marketing myself as this like luxury business millionaire, I think I could afford to buy a microphone, maybe some soundproofing. You can get it on Amazon for pretty cheap. A rug, maybe. Little things. It's the little things. And I'm just like such an audiophile. I understand that. But if I am claiming to be so wealthy and successful, I think audio is like the bare minimum I could be working to improve. Rodney says, this sounds like a prison visit. Exactly. The sound is easy to hear, but sounds like it's not exactly recorded in a studio. It sounds like she's sitting in an empty room. No, this is not the same lady that we got a soundbite from a few weeks back. I'm assuming you're referring to this woman right here.
You have cantankerous things in your life happen.
You have cantankerous things in your life happen, or...
Now, easy, you can just learn how to clear them off and be literally fine.
And be literally fine. We're going to listen to her maybe next week. She has a live training that we can watch together. But no, this woman, I don't think we have. I think we've listened to her podcast, but I want to say it was like 6 months ago, maybe. She comes up a lot in my like reaction content. People often send me her TikTok videos. Yeah, if you're not going to have good sound, you should at least be recording in a bathtub. Could not agree more, Erin. You get me.
The Wise is here, my queen. If you are alive with me, please say hello. I would love to know who's here. I want you to know something.
Yeah, if you're here watching my live stream, I would love for you to let me know that you're here. Give me your full name, date of birth, and social insurance number, just so I can make sure that I know that you're here.
Really, really important, which is this. In Q2 of 2025, you get to be famous. You get to be the star. You get to be the woman that is written up everywhere in newspaper articles, that is featured in movies, that is, you walk down the street and people are like, I know Lizzie, I know Samantha, and if you're watching with me live, please say hello.
Is this lady in movies? Is she famous? Because I don't think so. Why are we telling people what? In Q2 of 2025, you watching this YouTube live stream get to be famous. You get to be in movies. You get to be written about in a Forbes article that you paid to be written about in. Just pay me money and I'll teach you how to do it.
If you're here or watching the replay, you get to be the famous woman. You get to be the mama I made it. You get to have the moments in Q2 where everyone is like, who's Evie? Who's Tiffany? Who's Yvonne? Who's Christina? Like, you get to be that woman. You get to be...
Julia says, it's the famous coach all over again. That's exactly what I was thinking. If you weren't here a few weeks ago, we actually did a live stream on a woman who charges people to learn how to get famous, but she herself is not famous. Many, many questions I still have about that one. But this is giving the same vibe. Like, you get to be famous just because you decided, and all you have to do is activate your it girl energy, and you will be so famous.
The it girl. You get to be the famous person. Loretta's here. Everyone's here. I'm so obsessed. Hi, everyone. The more activating you are, the more you utilize the comments, the more activating I get. Like, everybody just gets activated at once, right? Winning compounds and creates more winning.
What does it mean? Sorry, I keep pausing. What does it mean to be more activated? So a lot of these people, and I'm assuming this is why Suzanne was confusing this woman with the woman from a couple weeks ago, because the woman from a couple weeks ago was talking about, being activated and activating your intuition. And please call me out in the comments if I don't know what I'm talking about, because I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm pulling this out of my ass. My understanding is that when you feel activated in this context, it's the idea that you're like operating in alignment with your true self. So you think of, the person you want to become, and you hold that vision and you start to take action towards becoming that person. I'm fully activated. I'm embodying my future self. What does it mean to be more activated? How do I become more of who I'm supposed to become? I just have so many questions. It's super activated. Exactly. I feel like she's just saying words, but they don't really mean anything. I don't really know. If you believe, you can achieve. Guys, I'm lost already, and we're only like less than 5 minutes in.
And so in Q2 of 2025, I want you to be a full embodiment of famous, of you've made it. Hey, Tiffany, Susie's here. I want you to embody that you are a celebrity, that every single time you walk down this street, people know your name. Like, you're the talk of the town in your industry. In other coaching groups, everyone's like, do you know Bushra? Do you know Tiff? Do you know Lizzie? Do you know Tiffany? Do you know Yvonne? You get to be that person. But the thing is that you have to be extra loud about it. I want you to be loud about who you are. Isabella, hi Isabella. You have to be so loud about who you are. If you want to be famous, you have to act as if you're famous. You have to act as if you are already the woman, the star, the icon that everybody wants to know. You want to make it? Show up as if you've made it. Like, be the person on this training right now that's super active. Be the person on Facebook that's nonstop posting. Be the person doing the insane photo shoots.
Be the person in my comments section spamming the comments so that my live stream gets boosted to as many people as possible. Do it for yourself, but more importantly, do it for me and my bank account. Cassandra says, my first time being on your live. Oh my God, welcome. To that, I will say a few things. First one, this.
Now you are one of us. One of us. One of us.
And also this little piece of advice.
Either get there or die trying, but damn sure don't be average.
Don't be average, because being average is for losers. And actually, I have one more thing about being a loser.
I was exhausted being a loser. Now I'm exhausted being a winner.
You're going to be exhausted no matter what, if you're a winner or you're a loser. But if you're here on the live stream or you're catching the replay, you, my friend, are a winner, okay?
I want all of you to like let that one especially like deeply sink in.
So let that sink in. And welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Rodney says, I would love to see the people in her chat. You know what? I actually realized this was a Facebook Live, so I went on Facebook to try and find it. But I think it's in her private Facebook group. And I didn't want her to like block me. So I didn't apply. I need to make a burner Facebook account, I think is what I really need to do. And get inside all of these Facebook groups for the plot and the plot alone. Suzanne says, I can't stand it when they stop their monologue to say hi to randoms. It's so distracting. Me as I pause the live chat every 5 seconds to read people's comments. Embody being a celebrity, hire bodyguards, fly on private jets, and tip the paparazzi when you go out. I saw your previous comment too that said, why do people want to be famous? This is something I'll never understand. Specifically with like these types. Well, I get it because they're obsessed with themselves. But for me personally, I'm like, I don't want people to know. I don't want to be famous. I don't want people to know where I live. I don't want to like be out in public getting stopped at people asking for photos with me. Like, I want to live under the radar. People on the internet can know who I am. But in the real world, I was not built for fame. Jean-Marc, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Tonight we are drinking this sugar-free Pepsi cherry flavored. It's not good. Don't buy this. 2 out of 10, I would say. Very true. Suzanne says, this is a live stream, not a podcast. Fair enough. You know what? I will give you that. Okay, let's get back to it.
Be the person that actually is famous. Full permission to 1000% express yourself. To trigger people. To not always be liked. Famous people are not always liked. Metalee, hi Metalee, where you're like falling in love with one another as well. Tiff and I, Metalee and I. You need to show up like you are already the celebrity. One of the easiest ways to win in the coaching and consulting industry, one of the easiest ways to win in life is by acting like you are already famous and so it is done. When internally you start saying to yourself that you're already famous, you've already made it, you're already a celebrity, people will start to look at you and they'll say, there's just something about her. Put a yes in the comments if you've had that you've had that happen to you a lot. Commonly people say to you, like, there's just something about you, Lizzie. There's just something about you, Evie. Like, you're unique, you're different. Tiffany, I love our love affair. I do too. I get to see you next week in Costa Rica, and I might see you somewhere else. But put a yes in the comments if people have commonly said that to you. When I was in high school, I got the senior superlative, most likely to be famous. And I didn't really in the moment understand why people would say that to me. They're like, if anyone's gonna be famous out of all the 1,000 people, it's you. You're gonna be famous. And one of the reasons why is because I didn't just think like that. I didn't just think with an edge thought. I didn't just decide like, oh, I'm famous. I also made moves that were in alignment with that. I was going to New York City. In high school, I would go to New York City for the weekend. I was going to the Broadway shows. I was going to Times Square. I was auditioning. Like, I was doing things that aligned with what a famous person would do. When I was 13, I had my first ever photo shoot. Like, I assumed that I was the star, the celebrity of my life.
Okay, I think this woman is around the same age as me. Possibly even older than me. Why are we talking about high school? Someone in the comments said she really peaked in high school. I'm just confused as to like why this is even relevant. I graduated, so if we're the same age, I graduated high school, hold on, math, 15 years ago almost. Like, I pretend that never even happened. That was so long ago. I'm so confused. In high school, they told me I was going to be famous, and so here I am, still not famous. I actually got voted, my high school, what'd you call it, a superlative, was that I was going to be a stand-up comedian, so we're pretty close, I guess. I guess the high school stuff really is relevant, guys. I take it back. Oh my God. This is a case study in narcissism. You know what? It just might be. Rodney says, I've repressed high school. Me too, because what does it even matter at this point? Why are we talking about this?
And if you're watching this live now or you're watching the replay, you have got to show up like you are the star of your life, and everyone around you will start to show up that way as well. You will have your name in lights. You will be written up. You will be written on Reddit threads. You will have news articles written about you. You will be asked to speak.
I'm sorry. I can't. If you missed the beginning, the only reason we're here is because someone posted this on Reddit and told me to react to it. I always find it kind of funny. And I don't know. I just think, like, from my perspective, I don't really want to know. If people are writing about me on Reddit, I don't want to read it. And so it's always interesting to me when these coaches find things that were written about them and then react to it. Like, if anyone was around, oh God, when was this? Sometime in the fall. So maybe well over 6 months ago now, I did a live stream reacting to a particular woman. Someone shared the live stream on Reddit. That woman found it. Then she started, commenting on the YouTube video, calling me all these names, saying these things. So on and so on and so on. Anyway, the point of that is that the whole thing was very evident that this woman was keeping tabs on what was being said about her on Reddit. Not the woman we're looking at now, but the woman from this previous stream. And to me, I'm just like mentally, and maybe this is just like a me issue, but one time someone who I had interviewed on his podcast, he's shared a Reddit thread with me saying like, oh, someone wrote a negative review about your YouTube channel and sent me the link. And I'm like, I don't even want to read this. I don't really care. Unless you're like providing constructive feedback of like, people here on the YouTube comments will often say, I don't agree with you because of XYZ. That's different. But if someone's just going on Reddit to be like, I hate so-and-so, blah, 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 why would you want to read that? Why is she spending her time reading Reddit threads about herself? I don't really get it. But again, maybe she has thicker skin than I do. I just like mentally, I'm not in a place where I want to read people say really mean things about me. This is selling main character syndrome as a positive attribute. I think you have hit the nail on the head there. This sounds so mentally exhausting. That's what I'm thinking too. And also just like, I think that's part of like being famous that I really wouldn't like is you can't go anywhere or do anything without people perceiving you in a certain way. Like if you were legitimately famous and you went to the grocery store and you bought a Pepsi product. Actually, this one says it was proudly bottled in Canada, but let's pretend it wasn't. And right now there's like this huge push for like, buy Canadian, do Canadian. If I bought this and posted on my YouTube channel and then people are like, oh, why are you supporting the Canadian economy? It's like, you can't do anything without someone telling you that you're doing something right or wrong. And I think the pressure of that in terms of fame alone would be way too much for me. Anyway, this whole thing just like doesn't make any sense to me, and I just find it funny that she reads the Reddit threads about her because you're not doing yourself any favors. Just let it go.
On television, you will be talked about in every single room. Everyone will be saying, who's Christina? Who's Christine? Who's Lexi? Who's Dr. Alicia?
I guess so,
who's
Rodney.
Tiffany? Who's Evie? Because you decided that's what you were. And you allowed yourself to receive it. Not only did you show up as that person, you also allowed yourself to receive the fame. A lot of women block the fame because they fear what's going to happen on the other side of that. They fear that they might be hated. And I'll tell you something right now. Celebrities are hated. Celebrities are misunderstood constantly. Have you ever seen a news article about a celebrity that you love? Hey, Katya. And you're like, why are they painting them as the villain? A famous woman, someone who has made it, does not move to be the hero. She doesn't move to be the villain to people. She just moves because she is the one. Someone who's actually famous, someone who actually creates wealth, fame, freedom, which is the essence of Freedom Queen. In Freedom Queen, you become wealthy, you become famous, and you become free.
But you yourself are not famous. Again, I just find it so ironic that a person who like objectively is not famous outside of the like coaching sphere would be making a whole podcast about like the importance of fame and how to be famous. Even within coaching, I would say that not everyone who's in the coaching industry is familiar with this particular woman. It's like a subset of the specific downline of Melanie Ann Layer, Stephanie Ann Houston, then this lady. Like, I don't think you're famous outside of maybe a group of maximum 1,000 people. I don't get it.
She's not moving because she needs to right people, the people that think she's wrong. Or she's not moving because she needs to prove to herself that she's someone or prove to other people. She's moving simply because she has a greater calling on her life. And you have a greater calling on your life. Let people misunderstand you. Let people put you in the tabloids. Let people write a hate thing about you. Let people love you, let people not love you, but either way, you are deciding that you are going to be famous.
Let people write a hate thing about you, because anything that someone writes that's not positive about you is full of hate. A tale as old as time, my friends. Let's just take any form of criticism and label it as hate rather than think critically about the feedback we're receiving from people. I charged someone $10,000 and they weren't happy with what they got. Well, they're just a hater. So write that down.
This is what I'm pioneering inside of Freedom Queen coming up very soon. And this is the activation portal of this conversation. And so something happened to me that I'm going to share with you all that is really, really, really profound. And honestly, like I'm still downloading it. And so if I get a little bit like just take in the energy, like put a yes in the chat if you feel the frequency. I have my team here at my house in Costa Rica. This is the first time my team has ever been with me in my house. Like no one's ever really been to my house before except for a hand, like literally 3 people have been to my house. And so there's this energy, this frequency happening right now. Put it in the chat if you feel it. I want you to calibrate to this. Like I want you to actually be in my energy.
Okay, question that could be for a whole video in itself. Why do so many of these allegedly wealthy millionaires move to third world countries where they can exploit lower cost of living? Serious questions I have for the class, because I want to know why, if I'm making millions and millions of dollars, am I moving to places like Bali and Costa Rica and Thailand where the cost of living is so cheap and my dollar goes further? If I have so much money, can't I just move to a really nice part of the United States? Maybe. Somebody let me know.
I want you to take this energy and put it on. So when I was a little girl, and not that young, when I was in high school and I got the senior superlative that was said most likely to be famous, a couple years went by. And yeah, I'm like, I'm going to take us there and we're going to go to really big levels together. I'm like in the portal right now. A couple years ago, a couple years after high school, and really, so like 10 years ago, when I was maybe 19, my mom said something to me. And by the way, I'm going to say something to you that's going to change your life forever. My mom said something to me. And she said, Bridget, James Lang, one day you are going to have your name in lights. My mom said to me, I have a vision. One day you are going to have your name in lights. And at the time, I didn't understand that. At the time, I actually really blew it off. I was like, I don't need my name in lights. I was like, Mom, no. Like, oh, it's so cringe, so cheesy. How many times has a woman spoke words of power over you and you've let it go? You've disregarded it. You've decided that you don't need to have that. But you don't need to have that level of fame. But you don't need to have your name written up in magazines. That you don't need to be featured in movies. That you don't need to be the talk of the town. How many times have you deflected words of wisdom? My fiance always says to me, when women pray. He's like, when women pray, you have the power to speak words over people that other people don't have the power to do. This is why coaching works. This is why mentorship works. It changes people's lives. The words you speak over people matter. The words you speak over your clients matter. The words you speak over yourself matters. The words when I speak over you, and I'm going to tell you right now.
Why do they all sound like they're giving a sermon? I feel like every single one of these that we listen to, the people speak like what they are saying is the most important thing that you will ever hear come into your ears and into your brain to absolutely, completely transform your entire self-perception and your whole life. Like, why are we all talking like this? Why can't we just talk like normal people? Why? Oh my God. One day you can have your name at 4 p.m. PST on a Monday as a cautionary tale. Ain't that the truth?
You are famous. You have the opportunity to be famous. You have the opportunity to one day stand on stage and everyone is chanting your name. You have the opportunity to do that, to create a massive ripple effect with your company, with your life. And so when my mom said that to me, she said, Bridget James Ling, one day, she said, I have a vision and one day your name is going to be in lights. I deflected it. And I said, no, I don't know. Like, Mom, I don't want that. Like, I don't need that. And then I moved to New York City right after that. I moved to New York City, and I moved to New York City with $500 in my bank account. $500 in my bank account.
Here comes the rags to riches story, friends. Buckle up.
I had one suitcase, one like regular suitcase. And inside of the suitcase, I had a couple clothes. I had a ham sandwich that my mom packed for me, granola bars, and an apple. Because we didn't know what I was going to eat the next day. I'm taking you there. Like, I am on another one right now. I'm telling you, this live is going to make history and break ceilings. And inside of the suitcase, I had two items. I had an air mattress. I had an air mattress just enough for one person. Have you ever seen a really small air mattress?
I can't get over the like inflection of her voice. And in my one bag, I had an air mattress. Have you ever seen an air mattress? Why are we talking like this? I hate it.
It was green, had like velvet on the top. One air mattress for one person. And my mom put inside of my suitcase, I'm gonna lose it on this live. I'm gonna lose it. My mom put in that suitcase string lights. She put in the suitcase these little Christmas lights. And when I arrived to New York City, I had $500 in my bank account. And I remember I had to sit in the Amtrak station. Have you ever been in Penn Station in New York? And I was so scared. I have never really rode the subway before. And I remember playing Frank Sinatra, dun, 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 dun. And I'm a repeat songer. Like, I will abuse a song. So I'm just like playing the song nonstop in Times Square. And my apartment wasn't ready for me to move into in the Upper East Side. I lived on 95th and Park. And I took my suitcase when my roommates told me my room was ready. I took my suitcase to the 6 train.
Okay, so she had somewhere to live. She's making it sound like she moved to New York with a ham sandwich, an air mattress, and nowhere to live. But she was just waiting for her apartment to be ready. Hi, Dios mio. Zip says, I think we need a video where Danielle has ChatGPT write a coach's rags to riches story in the format of a TED Talk. If we want to close the stream today doing that, let me know. We got time, and we can make that happen.
And at the time, I really didn't understand how the subway systems worked. But I was in awe. Like, I was walking through New York City with my suitcase and Frank Sinatra, New York, and the $500 in my bank account, and the ham sandwich in my little Ziploc baggie, and my my air mattress and the lights. And I go to the 6 train. And if you've ever been in the subway, it's kind of confusing sometimes if you've just gone to New York City. And the subway comes, and it's like going up. And I'm like, okay. And the doors open, ding. And I take a big deep breath in, and I just feel God with me, and I say, go now. And I remember jumping onto the train. I have literally no idea if this train is going in the right direction. I don't know if it's going uptown or downtown, but it's like uptown train, or it says something over the loudspeaker. I'm literally disassociating. I'm blacking out.
Okay. I've been to New York once as a tourist. Mind you, this was like 10 years ago. I believe maybe Harrison was there more recently. So correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but when I was there, they had maps everywhere. It's like the same. The SkyTrain here in Vancouver is the same. The TTC in Toronto is the same. You go into the subway, there is a map. And if you go to the right-hand side, it'll show you, okay, this train's going in this direction, and it actually like highlights the map. It's going to go through all these stations. And then if you go to the other side, to the other track, it'll show you the other side of the map, like this train's going in this direction. You have to be pretty not aware of your surroundings to not be able to figure out which train is going where. Like when I get on the subway, we call it the SkyTrain here in Vancouver, it will say to YVR Airport, which is the last stop on that SkyTrain line. So I know if I get on that train, I'm going south towards the airport. Like, I didn't grow up in a city. I didn't grow up taking the subway, but I think if you're an adult, it's pretty self-explanatory to figure it out. Like, this is so over the top dramatic. Like, it's not that hard. It's not that hard.
So I get on the train and my back's against the other wall, and I'm looking around, and all I have is my suitcase with my ham sandwich, $500 in my bank account. I have a heart full of dreams. I have faith that God's going to take me somewhere that I don't know. And I take the train uptown, and I get to my apartment. I remember the day I walked in, and it was such a small little apartment, like literally it was like shoulder to shoulder in the hallway, and I get into the bedroom.
Yeah, I think to Rodney's point here, he says her adversity was going to live in New York. I think that if you've lived a fairly privileged life, you have to grasp at straws like this to make things sound more difficult or like challenging than they actually are. I think that's what's happening here. Is she didn't really have to, and I could be wrong. I'm just speculating. That's just my opinion. I don't know this woman. But if that's like your story of hardship is the fact that you didn't know how to read the subway map, to me, that's a pretty clear indicator that you probably came from some level of privilege and have never had to actually overcome real adversity. Otherwise, we would talk about the actual adversity, I would think. But maybe that's to come. Maybe that's to come.
And the bedroom is so small, I can one hand touch one wall, and with my foot, the tips of my toes touch the other wall. And I open up my suitcase, and I put the air mattress, and the air mattress pretty much takes up the entire room. And I take out the Christmas lights, and I plug them in, and I wrap the bed in lights. And I'm just gonna keep going here because I might lose it all, but God bless, because if I lose my control on this live, thank God, because far too many women aren't letting themselves lose control. They're putting themselves in this frickin' box, and you're not gonna be famous by putting yourself in a frickin' box. You are going to be famous the moment you let yourself be authentic. And so I wrap my air mattress in these Christmas lights, and I fall asleep. And I say to myself, I've made it. Mama, I've made it. And that was just not many years ago. And I remember thinking about what my mom said to me.
Didn't she say that it was over a decade ago? I mean, if you're only 30 something, 10 years is like a third of your life. I would say that's a pretty long time ago. But maybe that's why we're still obsessed with high school. I forgot. So to her, it's not that long ago.
I have a vision that one day your name is going to be in lights. And I completely deflected it. And God was there with me. And God was like, I'm actually going to wrap I'm going to wrap you in lights. I'm going to wrap your air mattress in Christmas lights. And you're going to fall asleep the first time in New York City with lights surrounding you and wrapping your body. And the next day I woke up at the crack of dawn in New York City and I put on my outfit. I was going to my new big career in New York City. And I remember walking through the streets of New York City like, I have made it. I have no money. I have no money. I don't even know what I'm doing there at that point, but I know I'm on this mission. I'm on this mission to do something greater. And I do my first job, and I remember getting my first paycheck. It was like $1,500, and majority of that paycheck went to my student loan debt, and it went to my rent. And so I live my life in New York City. I'm living out what my dreams were made of. When I was a little girl, I dreamt of living in New York City. I dreamt of dancing, and I dreamt of teaching dance and managing dance companies and performing and auditioning. And I do all of the things until God called me to do something better, which was create Freedom Queen and help you wake up and find your own inner levels of fame and help you become famous. Help you to literally see who you're meant to be on this planet. And I don't even know why. Again, it was like a download from God where God was like, you're going to teach women how to go for more and wake up to their real God-given potential, to break outside of a box, to not just be a coach, because I didn't even know what coaching was. I was like, I'm not a coach. I'm starting a movement, a company, a brand, something that's far bigger than what anyone else has ever done before. This is Freedom Queen. And it starts.
Okay, I know this isn't what she's getting at when she's saying I'm not a coach, I'm creating a movement. However, I'm curious to hear other people's thoughts on this because there's something that I've been noticing, a shift, if you will, that I've been noticing in the coaching space recently. And that is people rebranding themselves from the title of coach to words like mentor. I'm seeing lots of business mentors popping up from people who were previously calling themselves business coaches. I'm seeing people using the word consultant when they were formerly branded as a coach. And it's just like a small trend that I'm slowly starting to notice over time. I'm curious if anyone else has seen it. And I think it's because of the amount of noise that is finally starting to be created in the coaching space, that people no longer want to associate themselves with the title of coach. And I'm curious to see sort of what kind of implications it has as time goes on.
With you allowing yourself to be free. And so something happened recently. I got news of something. And the news was this. Put a yes in the comments if you're ready to hear this. Put a yes in the comments if you're activated. Put a yes in the comments if you feel like you're destined to be famous. Put a yes in the comments if you're like, screw playing small in the coaching industry, in the drama people play out, in the negativity, in the sometimes I think that there's a demonic spirit over the coaching industry. I really have woken up in the last couple of days where I'm like, I am here to bring faith, fame, power, influence. You've made it. Bigness in this world. Like bigger is Carly. Oh my God. Like we are like awakening. I haven't seen so many of you in a while. Like I'm here to pioneer something bigger than.
Maybe the demonic energy coming over the coaching industry is your manipulative behavior, coercing people into spending thousands of dollars onto programs that are just you talking about embodying your big level famous energy. Maybe, allegedly, in my opinion.
anything. The like what I've created, like, okay, so anyways, so something happened recently. Something crazy happened. George is here. Yes, that's a fact. Steph says, I'm seeing it now, Ashley. Yes. Like I before I tell you what happened, I just want you to know that if you're watching this live, if you're watching the replay, whatever, if you and I know each other in some fashion, you are meant to be famous.
Okay, so we actually haven't heard the climax of the story, I suppose. Susanna's asking, genuine question, what is this supposed to be teaching us? How to be famous, obviously. Duh. I actually have no idea. The title is What Dreams Are Made Of, and there's no description to the video, to the podcast, so I have no idea what we're supposed to be learning. But I believe it is how to be famous. And honestly, guys, if you want to be famous, just follow this advice right here.
You can buy status by just like spending money to be around these people and then just being a cool person.
Just spend money to be around cool people and you'll be a cool person. Okay? You want to be famous? Spend money to be around famous people. Just saying.
You are meant to be known. And for your good God-given work, and you're gonna be wronged. I'm unleashing something right now. I'm just gonna go there. While everyone puts their foot on the brake, I'm gonna put my foot on the gas and spiral out of control right now. You are meant to be famous.
Oh, girl, I already know you're spiraling. Don't worry.
And not fame in this like weird celebrity matrixy, weird, crazy, demonizing women type of way. I mean in a God-given way. In whatever your religion is, I'm going to say in like a biblical way. Like you're known. Like your movement lasts forever. People know your name. The difference between someone who's famous and someone who's not is that they decided that they're going to be famous. And they decided to say, you know what, I am going to be hated. But I didn't come on this planet to be normal. You didn't come on this planet to be normal. You came on this planet to do something different.
Okay. Let me just be clear for anyone maybe you're watching the replay, whatever. Just because you decide something doesn't make it true. That's what we call delusion. Being a little delulu, if you will. Choosing that you are something doesn't make it such. Honestly, I think this is something we see in the coaching industry for sure. People who call themselves business coaches not having business experience because they decided they could. Now we're saying you can be famous if you just decide to be famous. Like, please don't do that. Please don't do that with anything. Anything in your life that you want to become, don't just decide you are that thing and then you get to be it. You could work to create that thing that you want. You want to be a doctor? You could go to med school, but you don't just get to decide that you're a doctor. Like, that's not how things work, lady. This is delusion. Straight up.
And the difference between somebody that's not famous and someone that is famous is that they decided to be famous. And this work has pissed people off for too long, and I'm just like taking everything to another level with you. And so a couple of months ago, I got word of something. And this is where I might go a little insane, so stay here with me in this frequency, in this energy. Keep sharing in the chat. Yeah, Lizzie, you're not normal. Everyone on this live who I've seen comment, you're not normal. And if you're not commenting, you're not normal.
Yeah, everyone on this YouTube live stream, you're not normal. You're famous because I said so. And I am the ruler of the world, and what I say is true. So if you're watching my live stream, you are famous. Guys, I'm losing it. This lady's making me lose my mind.
Someone reached out to me and
Suzanne.
said, I just had a flashback to me laying in the bed with the lights around me. And my mom saying, I had a vision your name was going to be in lights, and I deflected her. I just had a flashback to when I got my senior superlative that said most likely to be famous. Somebody reached out to me a couple months ago, and they said, we want to feature you on a giant Times Square billboard. We want to put your name in lights. I'm shaking a little bit. We want to put, actually, I'm shaking, but I feel very grounded because this is God. This is literally God's plan. We want to put your name in lights. We want to put Bridget James Ling and Freedom Queen in lights in Times Square. Now, the people that are watching this, that you know you're meant to be famous, you will feel this, and you will feel this for yourself, because
Monica says, just because you put lights on your mattress does not mean you're famous. I'm sorry. That was too good.
what I'm doing is I'm bringing something closer to you. I'm speaking words of wisdom over you right now. The things that are happening for me can happen for you. And she says, we're gonna put you in Times Square on a massive billboard and feature you.
I need to go and see if I can find this on her Instagram. Does anyone recall, those of you that are like well-versed in the coaching lore, I believe Melanie Ann Layer, aka Alpha Femme, who is like the upline of this woman's upline, she paid to put herself on a billboard, I believe, last year. It was like $50,000 for 10 seconds or something, I think. I completely made those numbers up, but it was something crazy, if I do recall. So I wonder if this is like a tactic now that these coaches are teaching their clients. It's like pay to put yourself in Times Square so you can go and take a selfie and post it on your Instagram.
In New York City. And I'm like, what? Who? How? Because I'm just the girl. This is where I go really deep with this. I'm just a girl whose mom spoke wisdom over her and said, I have a vision for your life. Who other people saw power in and said,
I don't see anything.
you're gonna go places. You're gonna go really far. Who 1,000 people voted most likely to be famous. Whose mother said, your name's gonna be in lights. And I completely deflected and I said, that's so dumb.
Rodney says, people from her high school must think she's crazy now. You know what's funny is the coach I was talking about earlier, the one that I featured in a live stream, and then she was like ripping me in the comments and then was talking about me on Reddit and la-da-da-da-da. Someone who allegedly went to high school with her has been like emailing me updates periodically every month, basically, since that live stream took place. I guess there's like a group of them that went to high school with that particular individual, and they're all like, what is up with this lady? And so whenever they get new tea from her personal Facebook, they send it to me. So you might be onto something, is the point of that story.
I don't want that. Despite all of the deflection, despite all of the fear, God had a plan for my life that was bigger than what I could have even imagined. Are you letting faith rule your life, or are you letting fear rule your life? Are you saying yes to every opportunity that can change your life? Like you're living on the edge, like one day you're going to be gone off this planet? Or are you doing things that are keeping you safe? Are you saying yes to every opportunity where you're like, you know what? That sounds like a God-given opportunity. Let's go. I'm in. You know what? That sounds crazy. Are you living to tell a story that's like, that was epic? Are you living to tell a story where you're like, that kind of sucked?
Okay. Suzanne said she found it.
When you choose to decide to say yes to yourself, like how last year I was like, I'm going to put on Freedom Queen Live. That wasn't me. Sometimes I genuinely feel like I'm just like a puppet and God's like, and then you're going to do this. And then you're going to do this. But you know why that happens in my life? Is because other women have spoke power over me.
Okay, this is Melanie Ann Layer, Alpha Femme, when she paid to put herself on a billboard in Times Square. So again, this woman in the video here is the upline of XO Gingy, who is the upline of the woman whose podcast we're listening to right now. So I am super curious to see if this is something that is like being taught to these people to get their name or get their image on a billboard in Times Square to build hype around their business. I'm not saying that that's what's happening. I'm speculating that this is like a new strategy that's being taught. And I would be curious to know how expensive this is. Anyway, we'll get back to the yapping. Thank you for that, Suzanne.
Other women looked at me and said, Bridget James Ling,
or Patricia,
you are going
whoever
to change the
sent that.
world.
Thank you.
And I want to say this to you. You are going to change the world. I want you to take this on as if I'm having a one-to-one conversation with you, as if if it's just you and me right now. You are going to be famous. Your name is going to be in lights. You're going to have tabloids written about you. You're going to have magazines, Reddit threads. I pray you get a nasty article written about you.
Alpha Femme her name is Melanie Anlayer. She is like near the top of the coaches pyramid, specifically the like really hardcore girl boss business babe coaches that all have the same Instagram feeds where they write on a white or black background in pink font. That's Melanie Anlayer, XOGNG, everyone else. I shared the coaches pyramid that we made on stream a couple months ago on Reddit recently, so go and check that out if you want more information.
You're going to have your name in Times Square. You're going to have the best-selling book. But you have to move by way of faith and not by way of fear. Fear will tell you that there's competition. Fear will tell you that there's some strategy. Fear will have you looking outside of yourself. Fear will have you living in a hierarchy that you're never good enough.
There is competition, though. You know, this is something that my partner and I talk a lot about in our free time. We're both entrepreneurs. We often talk about, you know, good business ideas, bad business ideas. And something that's really interesting to me is this notion that when people start a business and they aren't able to successfully build it to a point where they can sustain themselves, or they're not able to scale it, or whatever that challenge is where they can't quite grow it in the way they want to, oftentimes people want to blame, you know, the economy. They want to blame the market. They want to blame their customers, rather than taking time to reflect on whether or not the thing that they are building is something that people actually want to buy, and whether or not there's somebody else in the market that's already doing it better than them. Everyone wants to walk around and act like they are owed some level of success just because they decided to be an entrepreneur and they decided to open a business, when the reality is, if you're going to open a business, specifically one where there is in fact competition, like let's just say tomorrow I was going to open a coaching business, I would really have to think long and hard about what I'm going to do to differentiate myself from the competition. Because I think what we see so often in coaching specifically is people that are just taught to follow this framework, follow this blueprint. This is what worked for me. You should do it and you'll be successful too. When the reality is, if we're all starting the same business and doing the exact same things, at the end of the day, only so many of us are going to be quote unquote successful. And at some point, the market's going to be oversaturated and there isn't going to be room for new people to move in and just do the same thing. And so for her to say that, like, it's not about competition, it is. It's about learning how to stand out from the competition if you want to be successful in an industry that's already oversaturated. So just wanted to add that little bit of business advice in there.
Fear will have you comparing yourself to other women when they're making an amount of money and you're not making enough money. Fear will have you thinking that you're never good enough. Famous people. When we make the right women famous, when we make women who are led by...
Stop. John Mark says, I think we should sponsor Danielle to be on a billboard. And then Harrison sent $2 and said, everyone super chat Danielle onto a billboard. I think we're going to need about 25,000 super chats for that. So for this, I will say, hold on, I'm trying to find a good sound bite. How about this one?
Have you really got that you are God?
You are God, and you deserve to be on a billboard because you were meant to be famous. Okay, remember that. And thank you for the super chat.
Faith, the world changes. And so Today, I got the news that we're locked in for New York City Times Square. And I am opening up $100 tickets for you to attend the premiere of Freedom Queen in New York City. The first ever. Like, this will never happen again this way. There will never be a first ever Freedom Queen in Times Square.
Guys, I'm going to put my face on a billboard in Times Square, and then I'm going to charge you all $100 to come to a public location, which, by the way, to go to Times Square is free, but you're going to pay me $100 to come with me and watch me see myself on a billboard. Like, woman, are you living in reality? Who is paying for this? Who's paying $100 to go see someone else be on a billboard? See someone else see themselves be on a billboard. This is, guys, new grift unlocked, I think. This is crazy.
Because this is not just about me. I am bringing you with me. I want you to experience it.
This is not just about me, but I am going to charge you $100 to make it about me.
With me, shoulder to shoulder. I want you to stand in Times Square with me. And all of these women are standing in Times Square going, I made it. You made it. And when a woman says to herself that she's made it, you have nothing else to prove to people. When you feel a woman's essence that she's already made it, she doesn't have to go any further. She doesn't have to go. There's no going to the top. She's already at the top. When you decide that you've already made it and you feel it in your body, the world will move for you. That's actually when you will become famous. And so today, I'm opening up something insane.
This is insane. To pay $100 to go to a public space to see you on a billboard. That is actually crazy. Thank you so much, Amy. Amy says, voting for Bubba to get a billboard. I guess it'll be me versus him. Who's going to be more famous first, me or the dog? Honestly, people would probably rather look at his face. He's so cute. Look at the little baby. Thank you so much, Amy. To this, I will say simply this.
It sounds like a get-rich-quick scheme.
Yes, thank you. You will get rich quick. We all will.
We're all going to get rich by sending each other super chats and putting our faces on billboards and then charging each other to come watch us on billboards. Like Monica goes on a billboard, I pay her $100, and then I go on a billboard and she pays me $100, and we all just like pass around the same $100 until we all get our $100 back. That's the plan.
Which is for $100. Now, if you want to come to the New York City event, put NYC in the comment section right now. But just go into the comment section and put NYC. For $100, you get to come to New York City. It's on May 2nd. Come to New York City. Be a part of something bigger than yourself.
I got to put this in my calendar so I can watch from afar. This is crazy to me. Oh my God, I can't get over this. Erin says she's asking people to pay to be in a future photo op for herself. Exactly. All I'm thinking is like, okay, so she's going to get everyone in her downline to come to New York City, which first of all, that's going to cost these people at least $1,000 per person probably, unless they live in the area. You pay, you go to this event to see her on a billboard so that she can presumably bring her whole freaking film crew so she can film it, make content out of it, and then milk it for her Instagram promo for her conferences and all of that. So you're essentially paying to help her further market her business. I'm sorry, what? Absolutely not.
This is not just Bridget James Ling. This has never been just that. This is Freedom Queen. This is power. This is other women. Put New York City in the chat because that will cue my team to send you the link.
Exactly, Suzanne.
This is Mama, I've made it. This is you standing in New York City, Times Square, and saying, I've made it. And at the New York City event, we're not putting a cap on the number of people. There's going to be women making big money. Not these things in Times Square that are like exploiting women. Not these things in Times Square that are like only men in Times Square. Women in New York City. Women who are millionaires, who are multimillionaires. When I moved to New York City, I had $500 in my bank account. I have a multi-million-dollar net worth to this day. I don't sleep on an air mattress anymore. And so Team Freedom Queen's putting you the link to attend this event in New York City. For $100, you get to come to New York, be a part of the What Dreams Are Made Of, have the Mama I Made It moment, where you are going to document this experience of you standing in Times Square. I'll be there, obviously. We're going to have videographers and photographers, and you are going to, in your body, feel famous.
See, I told you. This is just a content opportunity for her, and you're paying for her to be able to create that content.
Body doesn't know the difference between somebody who, like, your body doesn't know the difference between reality and what you're feeling. So if you're standing, and imagine this, you're standing in Times Square and all the lights are going off. It's like, poof, 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 poof. Light, famous. Your body's gonna be like, I'm famous. And then you take all of that content that we're gonna make and you share it on social media. And it's not just me sharing it on social media. Our feeds are filled with women in New York City. What dreams are made of. You know, it says New York City, what dreams are made of. Do you want to know what dreams are made of? Do you want to know what dreams are made of? Women. Women believing in women. That's what dreams are made of. This is where I said,
I'm choking on my Pepsi. Don't worry, I'm okay.
I'm going to lose it. That it's not New York City what dreams are made of.
She brought me to
It's
tears.
what's within you, that when you decide to do yes, when you decide to jump on the subway ride, even though it's terrifying, you're like, is this uptown or this downtown? I don't know, but I'm getting on the train. Let's go. I have nothing in my bank account, but I'm moving to New York City. A woman is speaking power over me, and I'm just going to listen and take it on as if it's mine. That's what dreams are made of. That's what dreams are made of. And when you sign up for the New York City event, can you put I made it in the chat so that I know who's signed up for it? Now,
100%. Suzanne says, so everyone's promoting her and she's making it sound like they're going to get something out of it. Not only is she profiting off this, or like at least getting money to cover her costs, she's framing it as this opportunity for you to be, you know, in the energy, as they like to say, of a successful person, right? If we think about, you know, the parallels that we often speculate about between the coaching industry and cults, cult-like organizations, a lot of that centers around, you know, the idolization of the leader, right? And the leader using that power dynamic of them like being the leader to coerce you into making decisions that benefit you, but really actually benefit the leader. And I think this is a prime example of that. This idea of, you know, people want to be me. They want to have my life. She brought up the fact that she's allegedly a multi-millionaire. If you want to achieve that level of success, all you have to do is pay to be in my energy. And I'm going to what? Rub off my success through osmosis onto you. That's what they want you to believe. And it's not true. So red flags to look out for: someone trying to trick you into thinking that something that is purely going to benefit them is actually a favor that they're doing for you. This is gross. I don't like it. Harrison says, this sounds like what nightmares are made of. Could not agree more.
when you sign up, you're gonna get access to the New York City Times Square premiere. You're gonna roll up. Now, something that I'm doing in the month of May is I Made It May Challenge. Last year I did a challenge called Make It May, and this year we're doing I Made It Challenge in May. So when you sign up today for your ticket to come to the New York City event, you're going to get the entire May challenge, the Mama I Made It challenge in May. Where inside of Telegram and on calls every week, I'm gonna be coaching you through how to be a woman who's famous. And this is the perfect time. May is an excellent time to decide that you're famous because it sets the tone. Because once we hit July, things start turning up like crazy.
May is the perfect time of year to decide that you're delusional as fuck and you're famous. So If you want to get out of touch with reality and just start living in Delulu land, May 1st is the perfect time to start. So make sure you write that down in your calendars, guys.
And so May is a perfect time for you to decide. And since it's May 2nd, you're going to kick it off in New York City, in Times Square. You're going to be a part of the group. So we're going to have hundreds of people inside of the challenge, but everyone in the challenge, in my audience, in Times Square, is going to see you there. And you'll be a part of the feature group. So when you get your ticket to the New York City What Dreams Are Made Of event, you get access to the event in New York City, but you also get access to the May challenge.
I just find it so audacious that she's calling this an event, when really it's like you get to stand in the street, the free public street with me, and have your photo taken with me. It's like a celebrity meet and greet, but she's not a celebrity. So I'm a little bit confused as to who is paying for this. And I'm going to be watching on May 2nd to find out how many people gave her $100 just to be in her energy.
That's happening for the entire month of May, which is insanity. On top of that, I was like, how can I make this be an experience for you where you're like, I've made it. Like, you feel it in your body. Something I love to do is I'm obsessed with fashion. And actually, the more fashionable, the more I've allowed myself to be in fashion and style, the more money I've made, the more beautiful I've become, the happier I've become. Like, everything about my life has changed when I allowed myself to really not just think about being the icon, but look the part. Look good, feel good. Because people's perception of you, how they're looking at you, makes a big difference in the amount of money that you're making, right? So a part of your $100 ticket to the Mama I've Made It New York City event, on top of getting the entire month-long challenge, the New York City Times Square experience premiere, the May challenge, you are also going to get an experience with an amazing woman who's a client of mine, who also styles me for a lot of things. You're gonna get an experience with her before the event to help you physically prepare for it, to help you style yourself, so that when you show up in New York City, and if I were you coming to this event, I would build out events around it. Like, I would have your own meetup in New York with your own clients for lunch or brunch or something like this. Telling you right now, this is what I would do. You're also going to have support on how to show up, because something that's changed my life is I've done a lot of photo shoots, and I actually just had a private client ask me about this morning. She's like, how do you do all your photo shoots? They're so good. And I said, I take a lot of time preparing. I had an entire team in my last photo shoot designing every piece of the outfit. Tomorrow I have a massive creative shoot in Costa Rica, and every outfit is planned, like perfected to a T.
Isn't that what anyone does? Entrepreneurs, please chime in the chat. If you have ever had, or even if you're not an entrepreneur and you've just had to like have your photos taken for work, or maybe you did like your LinkedIn headshots, or you have a personal brand and you get photos done. Isn't everyone planning what they're going to wear to their photo shoot? Like, anytime I've done photos for my business, I always am like, okay, I need to get photos in this outfit and this outfit and this outfit. Like, you don't just show up and be like, well, I guess I'm wearing this. Like, hope the pictures look good. Like, this isn't revolutionary, lady. It's like in high school. Let's talk about high school. When I would have school photo day in high school, I would plan out what I was going to wear to my school photos, right? Like, what are you saying?
And so when you show up in New York City, I also want you to have this embodiment of you feel like you've made it. This offer, the way that it's packaged like this, with all of these different features where you get the New York City Times Square experience, where you get access to the May challenge, where you get access to the special fashion experience and style before that. So when you're standing in Times Square and all the lights are going off, you feel it in your body. And if you're a part of the Unspoken Conversation, our new signature program, I talked about this. You don't just believe it, because believing is one thing. Like, I believe it. You actually know it in your body that you're famous, that you're meant to be seen in the world, that everyone needs to know your name. That will become your new reality. And so drop New York City, NYC, just NYC in the chat, and the team will send you the link to our checkout page.
William is asking, how do her clients benefit? They don't. They benefit by feeling like this is actually making an impact on their business, when the reality is she's the one benefiting and profiting. So glad we sorted that out. Janaea says, was just thinking the same thing. It's like she thinks she's an A-list celebrity warranting a whole style team. Yeah. Super, super interesting. In the words of Monica, just because you feel like you made it does not mean you actually made it. You really have to return to reality. Could not agree more.
Our WAP checkout page. WAP is one of our actual sponsors for Freedom Queen. And we're actually that weekend going to be with them at their headquarters, learning how they've scaled a company to a
Who is that? Sorry, I missed what she was saying. Shit. Who is the sponsor? I don't know how to get to the thingy where I can go back in time. If I could turn... Oh, there we go. Okay. Got to go back 15 seconds.
Our checkout page. Our WAP checkout page. WAP is one of our actual sponsors for Freedom Queen.
I've never heard of it.
And we're actually that weekend going to be with them at their headquarters, learning how they've scaled a company to $1 billion market cap. And some of you are going to be, I'll talk more about that later on, but there's going to be options for you to upgrade to other luxury experiences that weekend since you're already going to be in New York City. Do you want to know what dreams are made of? Dreams are made of when one woman decides that she's already famous. Dreams are made of when one woman decides that she's already made it. Dreams are made of when...
Who is WAP? Can you send me a link? I'm like, I don't understand.
When one woman speaks power over another woman and says, you know what? You're meant to do this. And then that woman, you don't just think about doing it. You don't just say to yourself, oh, that sounds nice. Oh, maybe one day I'll go to New York. Oh, maybe one day I'll have my name in lights. Oh, maybe one day I'll say yes. Even with all of the fear, even
okay, like I know the song, but I'm like, I don't understand what... I'm trying to find it on her profile to see who her like checkout page is made through. Because I thought she was a ClickFunnels person because she has like the little CD thing. You know how they all hold the record, the gold record when you make $1 million or whatever? I don't know.
All of the I don't know if this is going to work. The $500 in the bank account. The suitcase with the air mattress. You decide to yourself that you've made it. And you move by way of faith and not by way of fear. You will have made it. Christina says, when is this again? This is May 2nd.
I'm looking at her sales page right now. It is awful. The UX is just like horrible. And the font, terrible. I can't even read half of this.
So May 2nd, it will be in the afternoon. And so you can either fly into New York City on a Friday night. You can fly in Saturday morning. Some of you might be already on the East Coast or in New Jersey, and you can just take the train in. You'll be a part of the afternoon feature in Times Square. You'll be able to come to that. You'll be able to come to the challenge in the month of May, and you'll get access to actually feeling like the celebrity and being the celebrity. Once you're inside.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna put this here. So I guess this payment processor is the thing she's talking about. Sorry, I'm so fixated on this. I'm just very, very curious because I've never heard of it. Like usually you'd use Stripe or PayPal. But I don't know. It doesn't look like anything notable. I've just never heard of it. I'm very confused. Sorry. Okay, I'll let this go. We can continue.
I really recommend that you also build out your own events around the event. Like make it big. Like again, if I was attending this, what I would do is I would also invite my clients to a brunch. Like this is what I do when I attend other people's events. I also create my own event out of it to grow my own brand. And then you get pictures of you in Times Square, and this is gonna break the internet. Freedom Queen in Times Square? What? Like, we just went like out of this world. And so when you're in for New York City, message me on Instagram. Once you've signed up for the $100 ticket, message me on Instagram saying, I've made it. To have an anchoring moment that on April, what's today? April, I think it's the 3rd, that you've made it. That by you deciding to come to New York City on May 2nd, you've already made it. And you get to ask yourself who you're going to be by the time you get to May 2nd. And then we're in Times Square and we're freaking out. And then we go into the challenge for the entire month of May, and you blow up your business, your visibility. You allow yourself to be seen. You get rid of the nuances of the fear that associated. Some of you watching this live, like, you have so much more potential, but you're not letting yourself be the famous woman. You're not
Guys, I'm losing brain cells listening to this.
letting yourself be the celebrity because you're worried what other people think. You're trying to fit yourself in a box. You hire that person because you think it's their strategy or they have something. But what it actually is that you have something. And the minute you start owning that is the minute you're going to make big money. And you're going to have your name in lights. Tickets to this experience.
Okay, I'm going to speed her up a bit because she's not really saying anything useful. Where did the thing go? Oh my God, I lost it again. Never mind. If I can figure out how to speed it up, I will.
Are $100. Once you're inside, we also have a $10,000 experience that's happening that weekend. So once you already have, oh, Alexi's coming, amazing. Oh, that's perfect. Once you already have your ticket for the $100 event, which is insane, the challenge, the styling, the experience in Times Square, you're also going to have the option and this exclusive invitation to do the $10,000 experience, but you have to be in the $100 one first.
There's still 20 minutes left, Suzanne. That's why I'm trying to figure out how to speed it up. Because how much more does she have to say?
First. I was listening to Empire State of Mind before this, and it was talking about what dreams are made of. And it was like, concrete jungle, what dreams are made of. And I was like, this is so wrong, because that's not what dreams are made of. Dreams are made of one woman believing in another woman. Dreams are made of you saying yes to yourself. Oh my God.
I missed the upsell because I'm too distracted by trying to figure out how to go back in this episode or how to go faster. She said there's a $10,000 upgrade?
Someone's already in. Welcome, my gorgeous queen. You've made it. And message me on Instagram when you bought your ticket. Message me. The bundle for all of the experiences, so the fashion, the May challenge, because we're going to sell the May challenge on its own without the experience. But the bundle with the event ticket, the challenge, and the styling, we're going to put a deadline on it. So there's going to be a limit to that. So make sure that you sign up as soon as possible and you say to me, I've made it. But the point of it is this, is that when I was listening to that song by Jay-Z, and I'm like, okay, this is fun. Obviously, there's like some weird programming in that song, but whatever. I'm listening to it, and I'm like, no, dreams are not made of this concrete jungle. Dreams are made of women believing in other women. And I'm really tired of, and I'm just like not addressing it anymore, seeing women talk about, I'm quitting the coaching industry. I'm leaving the coaching industry. I hate the coaching industry. Because when people speak that way, I find it extremely disrespectful. I love the coaching industry.
You know what I find disrespectful? Coercing people into paying you for something that only benefits you and not them, and telling them that your coaching is worth thousands and thousands of dollars when you don't even actually know what you're talking about. That's what I find disrespectful, but to each their own, I suppose.
I love mentorship because at the core of what it is it's God's work. Literally, Jesus was one of the first coaches.
We love a little spiritual manipulation, faith manipulation of like, I'm doing the Lord's work. And so God wants you to invest in my $1,000,000,000 coaching program because he wants what's best for you. And I'm what's best for you.
Okay, and Jesus' empire is like a $1,000,000,000 empire. A massive, massive empire. Loretta will make that an option, but right now we're just focused on New York City. And when I see people talk about the coaching industry, I'm like, you really don't understand the power of this work. You don't understand the power of women waking up other women. You don't understand the power that you have by saying yes to yourself, that you have by moving by way of faith and not by way of fear. And far too often in the coaching industry, there's so much fear. There's so much you're not good enough. There's so much you'll never make it. How about this? This one drives me insane. This is where I go crazy with it. Oh my gosh, Sabrina, welcome to...
Zerify says, I don't think Jesus was a coach. You know what? Jesus can be whatever you want him to be if you just believe hard enough. Haven't you learned anything?
The I Made It premiere. Welcome, 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 welcome. You've made it. Like, I have full body chills right now. Do you see this? Like Sabrina, Italia, Danielle is already in. Like, these women have decided to be in New York City in time.
I can't believe she would out me like that, guys. I signed up and I didn't want you to know, but now you know. I wish. I kind of wish I did, honestly.
Times Square, in person. We're going to be locking eyes to eyes, like paparazzi, like you've already made it. And something I've seen in the coaching industry a lot is like this negative, demonic narrative that puts other people down to lift them up. And it's like, what if you know what real power is? You don't need to put other people down to lift you up. You just lift it yourself up. Like, I think a lot about different massive leaders. And it's like, what if you just chose that you didn't need to be anyone's hero, you didn't need to be anyone's villain, and you just decided to win. You just decided to be famous. You just decided to create a brand so good that your name was put in Times Square with billion-dollar companies that are featured in Times Square. Me, when I was just a little girl, Bridget James Ling, who deflected saying my name would ever be in lights. God.
Erin is asking if she has a permit for this event. Wouldn't that be hilarious? You pay $100. Bylaw comes and shuts her down. Says we can't have groups congregating here. Where's your permit? I would die. That'd be so funny.
Has a plan for your life. I am my body's like so activated. I am a living, breathing embodiment evidence that when you take the edgy step, when you say screw it, give me the $100 ticket, $100, give me the $10,000 upgrade, give me the thing, I'm in it, I'm doing this, that you set this ripple effect.
Okay, I know I missed that part, but that's actually crazy. To have a $100 event or a $10,000 upgrade. 100 times the price. I'm sorry, what? At least in like the standard, coaching value ladder, you have like a $27 offer that leads to a $200 offer that leads to a $1,000 offer that leads to a $5,000 offer that leads to the $10,000 offer. So you're like priming the person to make, small investments, and then incrementally they get more and more expensive. To go from $100, which for some people could be a bit of a no-brainer. If your business is doing well, okay, sure, I'll buy $100 or whatever. $10,000? That's a big difference. There's a big difference between $100 and $10,000. I'm just saying.
That mysterious things start to happen for you behind the scenes. That because I used to have this this verse on my wall as a little girl when I was growing up. It was something like, God has a plan, and I will just take one step at a time. One faith-based step. One step towards the right direction. One step towards freedom. I'm going to buy that ticket. I'm gonna get on the train. I'm gonna get on the subway and I'm gonna be so afraid. And then I'm gonna get to my room and I'm gonna sit there and I'm gonna blow up my air mattress. I'm gonna put the lights around it. I'm gonna lay there and I said, I made it. And then I said, I made it again and again and again and again and again and again. When was the last time you made a move that sounded like, oh, that sounds like a great story? And then it was April 2nd or whatever today is, April 3rd. And I bought a ticket to be in New York City, to decide that I've made it, to decide that I'm a woman who's going to be famous, that you're a woman who's going to be famous. Because like I said at the beginning of this, you will become famous when you've decided that that's who you are.
Okay, sure.
When you come in person with me, you calibrate. Something I also see in the online coaching industry that people talk about is they say, don't pay to be in people's energy.
Yeah, don't.
That's the devil. That's the devil. Anyone that's telling you don't pay to be in people's energy, I'm like, that's the devil speaking.
No, anyone who is telling you to pay and be in their energy, that's the devil speaking. Me and this woman are clearly on very opposite sides of the spectrum here, but I would love to hear your take on this in the comments, those of you watching live or if you're on the replay. Paying to be in someone's energy, in my opinion, is just a loophole for the coach to not actually have to deliver anything of substance inside their container, as they like to call it. Like, if I'm telling you that you're paying me $5,000 to be in my energy, I don't really have any tangible deliverables that I have to offer you. I don't have to give you a set amount of calls or coaching or help you work towards a specific result if the only deliverable that I've promised you is my expert, famous YouTube level energy. Like, woman, no. Misinformation, alert, alert, red flag, red flag, red flag. Exactly. Zerify says, Danielle is the devil. Isn't that the truth?
Because if you actually understand the mechanics of humanity, you understand the brain and how we work, you are who you surround yourself with. So I will gladly pay to be in anyone's energy.
Okay. Here's the thing. We've talked about this before too. I do agree with the sentiment that who you surround yourself with, the people you associate with, absolutely has an impact on what you achieve in life, how capable you are of succeeding, etc. But you don't have to pay to be around those people. I have lots of very successful friends that I've never paid a single dollar to because we're friends. It doesn't have to be a transactional relationship. The coaching industry is one of the only spaces that leads you to believe that you have to pay to be in those rooms and to have access to those people. Get outside, leave your house, network, make friends, be a good person. And I promise you, you can achieve really great things and it's not going to cost you $10,000, okay?
And at the Times Square event, when we're in New York City, like the place that's like New York City, where the famous people live, where the icons are, where the celebrities are. You're there with me in person. And by the way, to get your ticket, comment NYC and Morgan will send you the link. You're there. What you're doing is you're going to be in this frequency of fame, of power.
But again, she's not famous. So you're paying $100 or maybe $10,000 to be in famous energy of someone who themselves is not famous. No one outside of the coaching industry knows who this person is. If I walked into my living room right now and went to my boyfriend and said, hey, have you heard of this person? He would be like, no, who is that? She's not a celebrity. She's delusionally convinced herself, allegedly in my opinion, that she thinks she's a celebrity, but she's not. She's famous amongst a group of what? 1,000, 2,000 people? Maybe, I think she has like 20,000 Instagram followers. So let's just say all 20,000 of those people actually know who she is and watch all of her content. She's still not famous. Like, what reality is she living in? Exactly. The irony is that being in the energy of someone who wants to monetize their energy probably isn't worth very much. Bingo. Unless you're going to copy exactly what they do. And even then, you're probably not going to be very successful at it. Oh, I'm getting angry.
And like I said before, the body doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not real. And so by you being there, you're going to set into motion these things, that doors start to open for you, and people start to come your way, and people start to help you. You create a vision so big that other people are going to want to be a part of your vision. Like, people on this live have already bought their ticket to come to the New York City event. Sabrina Walker's in. Sabrina, welcome, queen. Sabrina, I don't even think we know each other that well. And you're like, I'm in. That's power. I'm going on an adventure. And you're going on an adventure. And you're going
100%. Monica says Instagram fame. Sometimes people on Instagram believe themselves to be famous. It's like the influencers in the wild, or like horror stories you hear of influencers that go to restaurants and like ask for free stuff because they're an influencer. So crazy.
going to live to tell the story of the time you bought your ticket and you were like, that sounds insane. And there I was on a Facebook Live, and I was like, I'm gonna go to New York City and stand in Times Square and have my paparazzi moment and then spend an entire month together in a challenge. Maybe some of you will upgrade to our $10,000 experience. Once you're in the $100, you'll get more information about the 10K one. Kat, New York City. You like, oh my gosh, Kat, you in New York City.
Okay, so that's super interesting. She's telling you there's a $10,000 upgrade from the $100 offer, but she's not going to tell you the details of the $10,000 upgrade until you buy into the $100 offer. Hate that. Bubba, you're going to fall off the bed, buddy. He's right on the edge. Oh my God. Sorry, buddy.
City, yes. If you're a woman who, and I'm just going to put a yes in the chat if I can be, as I always am, but even more so, like super, just like real with you guys. I'm always real, but if I can just go another level deeper, put a yes in the chat. So the woman that's made to...
Somebody find the timestamp and I will make the clip.
...to come to the New York City event is a woman who is here to win. A woman that knows when you enter most rooms, you're the top dog.
I'm so much better than everyone that I know. Whenever I go somewhere, I'm just so much better. And so I walk into a room and I'm like, I'm so much more famous than all of these poor people that are in this room. Therefore, I'm better than them. So that's what I do. I don't know about you guys, but when I go to a room, that's the first thing I think. It's like, these people are losers and I'm way better than them.
Like, you might be in other rooms and people might in that room like make more money than you or have a better body than you or whatever, but like inside, you know that you're number one. Like when I was in auditions in New York City, I would go into the warm-up room. How many of you have ever done a competitive sport or anything that requires resiliency, like bodybuilding, performance? And also let me know when you're in for the New York event.
Sorry about that, as everyone spams the chat. I was just saying that I forget. Something about her being delusional. And Bubba really is the top dog. Sorry about that, folks. I was talking to my Google. I had to mute myself. I'm back. I'm back, baby. I was answering this question. Space Pastry was asking if she said how she got on the billboard. She didn't. She in my opinion, made it sound like it was an opportunity that was offered to her, but I'm guessing she paid for it. But again, that's just my alleged opinion based on what I've seen other coaches do. Okay? Sorry about that.
I used to go to these auditions and I would be inside of the rooms in New York City. I have so many stories around New York City. Oh my gosh, this is gonna be iconic. The whole situation. This is literally God's plan. Like, if you're not at this event, I don't know what you're doing. Like, this New York event is like literally, this is God's plan. Like, this is not a human's plan. This is God's plan. This whole
Frig off with the faith manipulation. Seriously. Thank you so much. Welcome to the stream. This person says, I had a fling with a somatic experiencing influencer with 20K Instagram followers. One of the worst experiences of my life. Your content reminds me that I dodged a bullet. To that, I will say this.
Now you are one of us. One of us. One of us.
Thank you for being here and welcome.
event. I remember going into the audition. Yeah, Lizzie, there is the link to sign up for the event.
Okay, keeping in mind that this is a podcast, much to Suzanne's point earlier, I find it so distracting that she'll start a train of thought, stop halfway to address the comments, but then not continue with the point she was trying to make. So she has all these like half-told stories, but she never gets to the point because she's too busy talking to people.
I remember going to the auditions and I remember seeing all the other women. And a lot of times when you're in audition, it's extremely cutthroat, just like entrepreneurship. It's extremely cutthroat. Like, this is not for the faint at heart. Like, this is not for weak people. If you're watching this, you're a strong woman. Like, you're strong. You've been through some stuff. You're strong. And I remember going into these auditions and feeling like, okay, other people in here want to win. Like this like shark mentality. And this is where I'm going to bring it and go there with you. A lot of people in the online industry don't actually want to win. They just want to talk about winning, which is why very few people are making $200, $300, $400, $500, $1 million months.
I would actually say that most of the people who are winning aren't talking about it at all. And so that's the difference. The people who sell the idea of winning have to talk about how much they're winning. The people who are building actual companies and actually winning, as in growing and scaling those companies effectively, they aren't talking about it. They aren't posting Instagram stories saying, my company made $100 million this year, because no one cares. The product they're selling isn't reliant on them giving everyone else the impression that they're successful. So just because someone isn't talking about how much money they're making doesn't mean that they're not making that amount of money. You know what I mean? I don't get it. Yeah, exactly. Hillary says she's talking about New York City auditions like she made it, and yet she's an online business coach, not a famous actress. In her mind, she is famous, a famous actress, though, because she decided. Remember? Don't forget that detail. Exactly. The people that are winning are too busy to rub it in everyone's face. Like, if we look at wealthy people, famous wealthy people, do you think that those people are on Facebook or Instagram? Like, does Mark Zuckerberg go on his Instagram and be like, hey guys, I'm so rich? No, we know he's rich. So he doesn't need to talk about it because he's not selling the idea of being rich. The rich people are busy building the companies that made them rich. They don't have to sell the idea to other people. So stupid.
The people at the top are like, they're this. The reason I'm at the top is because I know I came here to win. When I get into rooms and make moves, I'm like, no, but you don't, like, I'm here to win. And so I would go to these auditions.
No, I'm actually here to be a loser. So when I go into a room, I think, how can I be the biggest loser in this room? You know, I'm actually going to a conference this Friday, and my plan for networking is to just walk into the room and tell everyone that I'm a huge loser. And I'm going to see how that goes for me. So stay tuned. I'll let you guys know next week how that works out.
And other women would try and distract other women and be friends with one another and do these things. And I remember so many auditions that I would go to where I would just...
Yeah, like why try and be friends with each other when you could just get people to pay for your friendship? That's actually a way better idea. You know what? She's onto something.
Be in the zone. I decided that I made it. I decided that I was number one. I didn't get distracted by other people.
But did you make it? Much
And
to
I would
this
show
comment?
up, and I wasn't always the most talented person in the room. Like, I couldn't do backflips and kicks and big pirouettes and fouette turns. But what I could do was show up like I was the one, like I had made it. I gave off this frequency. I had decided that I was famous. And audition after audition, I would get it. Not because I was the best in the room, but because I omitted this frequency.
Okay, so what shows were you in? Tell me where, like, were you on Broadway? Let me know. I want to know. I want to see the receipts of what shows and auditions you successfully got. I'm curious.
That's who this New York City event is for. You don't have to be in the best room in the room to be famous. You know inside, you have this aura about you that's like, yeah, but you're actually meant to do something absolutely epic. Like at your core, when you do a meditation, your heart, your soul is like, if you go to the core of who you are, it's like, she's a celebrity. This is why when you watch really famous people on an Instagram reel, you're like, that's me. That's you. This is why a piece of your soul, while watching this live, is being massively activated. This event is for the shark. This event is for the powerful woman. This event is for the woman who's like, I'm here to make it. You don't understand.
Okay, so I Googled her name and I Googled Broadway, and what I got was a summary for a show. This was from 5 years ago, 2020, that she was featured in off Broadway. So it's not Broadway, it's not off Broadway, it's off Broadway. And it looks like it was some kind of like dance performance. So I'm confused. She's making it sound like she was famous, and I'm not discrediting the fact that she was in something, but I wouldn't say she was famous.
I'm going to make it. You're already making it. You're not here to like hang out.
100%. Space Pastry says frequency in lieu of actual skills. They sell frequency and energy because they don't have anything else to offer. Again, I can't give you specific deliverables if I don't have any experience in an actual skill set. So it's much easier to just offer to let you pay me to be in my energy.
And chatter with everybody else. You're not here to talk about building a business. You're not here to talk about changing the world, but you know inside of your soul that you're ready to unlock something. And what I want you to do is I want you to right now, while you're watching this training, this transmission, I want you to just
You heard it here
imagine your
first,
name
William.
in lights at Times Square. I want you to imagine your name in lights in Times Square in New York City. And everyone is yelling your name. Lizzie, Kat, Christine, Sabrina, Evie, Courtney, Hannah. They're yelling your name. You know what it takes to make it. It's to make moves that nobody else is making. It's to decide to do the like, okay, I'm in. I'm going to do that. I'm going to sign up. Yes, I'm ready. And I'm going to close with this.
We're finally getting close to
Just
the
like
end.
my mom said to me when I was a little girl, I have a vision that one day your name is going to be in lights. Let me just tune into you for a second.
Kat says, I just want you all to know that I am famous. That's the energy we need. Claim it and believe it, and you can achieve it. I'm also famous. Just kidding. I don't want to be famous, please. I do not claim that energy. I do not claim that energy. I repeat, for whoever is listening, God, the universe, I do not claim this energy.
Just like the 1,000 people voted for me to get most likely to be famous.
Let it go. Let it go. Oh my God. Stop bringing up high school. It was over 10 years ago. Let it go.
And I want you to take this on as if I'm saying it to you, because I have the power, I don't know why, I just do, to see women's real potential. I have this freaky power to see women, and I know when I see an icon. I know when I see famous women.
And I'm going to tell you that the famous women are the ones who pay me $100 to come stand with me in New York City. That's the energy we need.
I'm going to say this to you. You are meant to be famous. You are famous.
I'm guessing she went to a high school with 1,000 students, and then out of those 1,000 students, they voted for her. That's how it worked at my high school. I went to a very small high school because I'm from the middle of nowhere, but we had 350 students, and all 350 students would vote, and then whoever got the most votes would win. So I don't think 1,000 people voted for her. Again, it's the statistical manipulation that we see oftentimes in this industry, trying to make things sound better than they are. Yeah, my guess is she went to a school with 1,000 students and they all voted, and she won the highest percentage of votes in that category.
In a timeline.
But again, who cares? It was high school. Like, we're adults.
When people go to sleep at night, they're already thinking about buying your $100,000 offer. People want to pay you $500,000. People want to get on your private jet with you. People want to pay to come to your events in person.
Do they?
Your work that you're creating is not some human-made thing. It's a gift from God. You're not on this planet to just have some little coaching business or coaching industry.
William, if you missed it, she was voted most likely to be famous in high school, which she graduated. I'm pretty confident she's a year older than me, so she would have graduated high school over 15 years ago. And she's still stuck on this idea that 15 years ago people said she was going to be famous, so now she is.
You're here to do something so much bigger and beyond than what
100%. Aaron says the pauses are really giving extra large margins and double spacing to make a 3-page report into a 10-page report. And so, such as, therefore, and so.
any other person has done. In fact, you don't even need to compare yourself to what any other person has done because you're in a league of your own. Your work is so much more than what you're putting into the box, with the carousel posts, the reels. Your work is so much more than a how to do XYZ hook. And there are women that actually need you to break out of this shell, to stop not living an activated life, to be the woman who allows herself to be massively seen, to stand around the world at events and people fly from everywhere to be there with you. And most importantly, this is what I really want for you. You're gonna have all of the things because you're a woman who takes action. You do the scary thing. You say yes to yourself. You get in the room. You find the edge. You leap and you jump and you realize actually it's not that scary.
And you give me all your money.
People ask me all the time, how are you making 300K cash months? I do what you're afraid to do. That's how.
I scam people. You're afraid to scam people? I'm not. I will do anything. I will forego anything that I believe to be guiding me, you know, like values, ethics, morals. Toss them in the garbage. We don't need those. What we need is to get rich. And the way we're going to get rich is to do the things that no one else is willing to do. Scam in ways that no one else is willing to scam. That's how we be rich and successful.
How did you have your first 100K cash month? I invested $25,000 in a weekend.
1000%. Hillary says, not to be petty, but I remember most likely to be famous being a euphemism for most full of themselves. That checks out.
I do the things you're afraid to do. And so when you do the things that everyone else is afraid to do, everyone else has the fear around, and you say yes, and you don't just keep talking about it, but you actually do it, you will have the reality that they don't have. And all of those things are going to happen for you. The fame, the books, the achievements, the awards, all the recognition, people coming on your podcast, like everyone. Like I have an amazing icon coming on our podcast today in an hour or so. But the other thing that's going to happen, and this is what I want you to really allow to anchor in as you say yes to the New York City event.
No, thank you.
So you're not just doing this for all of the external things. You're not just doing this to have your name in lights. You're not just doing this to get the best-selling book. You're not just doing this so that everybody knows your name and flies around the world. You're doing this for your life. You're doing this like your life depends on it, because it does.
Because it does.
You're doing this so that you can feel alive. You're doing this so that you can feel incredible.
100%. Kat says, I forgot what this world is like. They say so much and yet nothing at all. And they also repeat themselves over and over. What she's saying right now is what she's been saying for the last hour and a half. Like, what?
So that you can be activated again. But this time, activated in a different way. I know you've been activated in your business and your life before, but I want you to be activated in a way that you've never been activated. I want you to activate yourself today, like as if your life depends on it, because it does. The only times where I've ever felt, and I'm sure you've felt this way, the only times you've ever felt depressed, anxious, worry, you go to fear, is when you stop doing things that are pioneering, that are activating, that are taking your business to the next level. You stop pushing the edge and you stop trusting God and you start leaning into fear. An activating woman does edgy things.
Like, give me all your money. She should really add that to the end of all of these sentences, because that's what what she means. She's saying these things, but what she really means is buy my stuff, give me your money. So just say it. Just say it, lady. Why don't we just say what we want, like you're telling us, claim it. Name it, claim it, give me all your money.
Not so that she can get the result, not just so that she can get her name in lights, but so that she can feel alive, so that she can actually wake up. And this is so important, because when a woman is woken up in her body, hello, you're alive, hello, are you alive, are you there, do you see yourself? Like, wake up the body, wake up your soul, and you do that through saying yes to events like this, you will have made it. Because everything will...
See, you do it through giving me your money. For those of you that are just jumping on, this woman is paying or charging you $100 to come stand in Times Square with her while she looks at herself on a billboard.
Just start coming to you, because the world, the universe, money, people, opportunities love an activated woman. They love a woman that says yes to themselves. People love hiring people that are going for it, that are allowing themselves to be super free and be seen. And so, Freedom Queen, you are meant to be famous. I cannot wait to see you in New York City at the New York City event. Comment NYC to attend. You can get your ticket to the $100 event ticket. This experience is going to change in terms of price point and also in terms of the challenge and the styling experience. So make sure that you get your ticket as soon as possible. And not for the sake of that it's changing, but for the sake of because you've decided that you've made it. Your name will be in lights when you've decided that your name is going to be in lights, that you've decided that you've already made it.
Okay. I think I've lost enough brain cells. I don't need to listen to her repeat herself 400 times and say, you can believe you're famous. You're famous if you believe it. Believe you're famous. Famous, famous, famous. Believe, etc., etc. You guys get the point. Okay. Now time for the main event. So for those of you that weren't here at the beginning, it was requested that, actually, let me give you a little bit more context. This woman's sob story, rags to riches story, is that she moved to a really nice part of New York City with an air mattress and some twinkly lights, and she couldn't figure out how to use the subway system. That's the hard challenge she's had to overcome in her life. So I thought, or someone in the chat, suggested that we get ChatGPT to write us a little dramatic story. So that's what I've done while she was yammering on about nothing. And I thought we could read it together dramatically. But let me just catch up on the comments and then we'll go ahead and switch to that. Yes. So for those of you that missed it, the event she keeps talking about is that she's going to be featured on a billboard in Times Square. And you can pay $100 US to come to New York City and stand with her while she looks at the billboard. And she'll have a photographer and videographer there to document it all. So basically, you're paying her to get featured in her Instagram business content. So we love to see that. Get your ticket as soon as possible so you can't think about it and realize it's not a great idea. Ain't that the truth? Buy it now. Doors close at 11:59 p.m. No refunds. Etc., etc., etc. Bring on the robo scammer. What was the ChatGPT prompt? Okay, so this is what I wrote into ChatGPT. It says, write a rags to riches story for a life coach scammer in the style of a TED Talk. Make it super dramatic and over the top. For context, ChatGPT helps me a lot with the descriptions for my YouTube videos. So I will input the entire script that I've written into ChatGPT. So it has a lot of context in terms of like how I speak, my thoughts on the coaching industry, etc. So I'm hoping that this is going to be pretty good. So it even gives like descriptions of what the scene should look like. So the first thing it says is lights dim, spotlight on. 12 years ago, I was eating cold beans out of a can on the floor in my studio apartment I shared with my ex's vision board. Audience chuckles awkwardly. That's you guys. You have to laugh. I had no money, no savings, no job, just a dream and an Instagram account. Everyone told me that I was crazy and that I would never make it. That I couldn't just think my way into 6 figures. But I did. In fact, I thought my way into 7 figures. Dramatic pause. People say rock bottom is a wake-up call. For me, it was an opportunity, an invitation. The universe whispered, babe, it's time to monetize. So I listened. I opened Canva. I made my first ebook. It was called Shift Your Mindset, Shift Your Income. I priced it at $97. It was 5 pages long. One of them was just a quote from Pinterest. But it sold, and that's when I knew this was my calling. I wasn't just meant to heal. I was meant to lead. Soon I was hosting webinars on abundance, then masterminds, then high-ticket coaching containers. I created a course on how to build a course. That course became a funnel into my other course, How to Coach Coaches to Coach Coaches, trademarked. Enthusiastic applause. Everyone, applause, please. People said, but what are you actually teaching? To that I said, do you hate women? Oh my God, this is so good. Audience gasps. Nods respectfully. I scaled fast. I learned about something called a revenue sharing agreement. Oh my God, it's pulling from my latest YouTube video. This is hilarious. I started charging 15% of my clients' future income for access to my vibe alone. If they failed, that was on their mindset. Now, I live in Tulum. I own 6 iPhones. I call my house a sanctuary. My boyfriend is a breathwork facilitator named River. And I wake up every day with one mission: to empower other women to do what I did and monetize their rock bottom. You don't need credentials. All you need is a ring light. You don't need a strategy. You need alignment. Because success is just one limiting belief away. Wild applause, standing ovation. I'm throwing crystals. I'm throwing crystals into the crowd. That's it. That's the end. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here. Let me just give myself a round of applause. Thank you. End scene. Oh my God, that was so good. I did not make that up. ChatGPT made that up. I might have to steal it though and make it into a Instagram reel because that was hilarious. Sounds pretty convincing, not gonna lie. Even ChatGPT priced it with a 7 at the end. It was so good. So good. Phoenix says, I lost it with the name River. I had a really hard time keeping it together. The 6 iPhones really sent me. Oh, that was so good. Okay. Thank you for whoever suggested that. That was hilarious and just way too accurate. Oh my God. All right, friends. I think that's going to be it for today. If you haven't already and you had a good time, please consider giving the stream a thumbs up as it helps me in the algorithm so I can become super famous and charge all of you guys to be friends with me. Okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll be back next week. I'm always here, ready to party. If you're in Canada, I have a suggestion for each of you who are Canadian in the chat or watching the replay. Please go vote in the federal election. It's an interesting time here in Canada. I will leave it at that. I'm going to go vote right now. That's why I'm bringing it up. So advanced polls close today, 9 p.m. if you're on the West Coast. Otherwise, vote next week, Monday. It's my birthday next Monday, so that's going to be your birthday gift to me, okay? Voting in the federal election. Appreciate you. Take care. Comb your hair. And I'll see you guys next week, okay? Okay. Bye! I almost forgot to turn on the outro.